Hey everyone, and welcome to season 2 of Death in Cambodia, Life in America, a podcast where I sit down with my father, Robert Chow, a survivor of one of the biggest genocides in modern history, the Khmer Rouge. He escaped to America with $10 in his pocket and built a distributing company, one of the largest donut distributors in the US. How exactly did a poor, starving boy from Cambodia build an empire and achieve his American dream? I'm Dorothy, his daughter, and your host for today's episode. Let's dive in. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Death in Cambodia, and in the part that we're on right now, Life in America. Last episode, we left off with Robert realizing that donut shops are really going to be the way to go for his financial future. And he has been living with Uncle for this time being, kind of learning from Uncle, working with Uncle. Bob, welcome back.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
How long did you stay with Uncle at this point? What's the time frame looking like?
Oh, probably about six, 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. It's a small one-bedroom apartment, but I think we happy. We eat together, and really, really happy. It's just like a family. It's what it should be. I mean, just happy. We didn't make much money. I think he worked in a donut shop. He ran a donut shop from Donut King, Thạch Nước Ngồi,'s sister. That was owned a few donut shop in around Santa Ana areas in, Southern California.
Right. Before recording, a funny little story that I think we should go back to. But what exactly, you mentioned something about that, something that you guys ate.
Yeah, I think Uncle, when he came to the United States, he was stay with his mother-in-law, sister-in-law, I believe, and they been in America for quite a while before Uncle, came to the United States.
So this was the same lady that you saw.
The same auntie, the same family that I saw. But I thank you them that gave me a booster shot, when I walk out from that house there. That helping me. So Uncle stayed with them, and then I think they feed them dog food. It's a canned dog food. But Uncle didn't know any better. Tastes fine, tastes good. It tastes way better than the food in Cambodian. So I think that's all he, know. And then when he moved out to Santa Ana, renting a one-bedroom apartment, and I was stay with him, and then he just opened that dog food. So I didn't pay much attention. I think it was taste all right. I mean, it was taste good. Add some lemon juice and add some chili with a bowl of hot steamed rice. Hey. And we ate that for a while, and later on we found out, they said, oh, that's a dog food, it's not, but.
I think it's really sad though, when you mentioned that family felt that it was okay to feed your uncle at least dog food. Yeah. I mean, at that point, you're here in America for a couple of years. And so I think it just kind of goes to show the way that they really look down at some of the family members and some of your really uncle sad. And you. That's not something you should do.
No.
That's not very nice.
No, that's horrible. Yeah, but dog food wasn't that bad. Oh, well.
So after a while, you guys started to learn what dog food was and stopped eating that. But regardless, you were working with Uncle. We left off, you kind of helped him with some of the numbers. and saw how much money that donut shops could make. So this was going to be your next goal.
Yeah, it was open my eye. So when I handled his P&L, profit and loss, and it was said, wow, this is great business for the people that have no degree, willing to work hard, wake up, started at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, work through the night, and finish 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's perfect, because I think at that time, if you go out there and try to get a job, the job that's available for you, probably a janitor, clean up, and then pay probably the most, maybe $5 an hour. I think at that time, the most, $5 to $6 an hour. But this is great. After 3 or 4 months, that helping him in the donut shop. At that time, I still work full time with the machine shop.
Right. You weren't going to leave just yet.
No.
But after a couple months, 3-4 months.
3-4 months, and then I decide this is what I really want to do to change my financial.
After 2 to 3 months, what did you decide to do after you left?
I said, you don't have to pay me because you already let me stay, with you, and then I don't have to pay food. I don't have to pay rent. So now I just want to learn as much as I can and help you run a donut shop.
Running a donut shop isn't easy. I think running a donut shop is probably one of the hardest kind of food sector that you can kind of get into, because it's an overnight thing and it could be an all-day thing. Did you ever, when you were working there, after you quit your job at the machinery place, did you ever look back and think maybe you made a mistake?
No, not at all. I was 22 years old at that time, 22, 23 years old. I'm ready to do anything because it's nothing. It's hard for me. This is nothing, compared to what I've been through in Cambodia. This is nothing. I mean, so I was exciting. Work at night, during the cashier in the morning. It really, I didn't feel that it's hard work at all. I feel like I'm exciting. I'm look forward for the donut industry business, and but it was only 3-4 months, so I didn't really know exactly what the future of the donut shop gonna be at that time, because it's just the morning business.
A few cool things to point out here, I think, would be that, maybe a lot of people would look at my dad and think, oh my gosh, like how exactly did this guy start from nothing and turned himself into a great American entrepreneur? You can already kind of tell that he was a different kind of person. He definitely had that entrepreneurial spirit in him, right? I mean, he's like, I don't care. I'll work for free. I just want to learn. That kind of urgency for education, that kind of passion, that kind of risk-taking as well, to kind of like, okay, whatever, everybody else is doing this, but I see something here. I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to go from making money to not making any money to dive into this new sector that I'm just learning about. People talk about what it takes to really become a fancy, successful entrepreneur. And quite honestly, I think in the very beginning stages, nobody has a roadmap. You can tell Robert did not have a roadmap, and yet he just jumped and did it.
So I quit the job at this machinery, and then I was working full time for him. So I came in, he started with me. He said, okay, you come in at 4 o'clock. That's what usually the cashier come in to prepare the donut, put in the showcase, and prepare for the coffee and all of that ready to open the shop at 5 o'clock. Donut shop, it's an early business. So I done that for another 3-4 months, the most. Then I learned a lot, talk to the customer, kind of enjoy it, and it's nothing's hard at all. I think, just say hi, good morning, what can I do for you? And then it just sometimes, in the beginning, I didn't know all the name of the donuts. So, but really, I think the customer came in, just point. They said, oh, I want one of that, one of these. Put in the bag and just run it. It's all cash business. So at that time,
Did you help him bake at all?
No. Probably a few days, just a few days. But sometimes I said, oh, I want to learn how to bake. He said, no, I just go ahead and taking care of the friend for right now and then bake maybe later on. But sometimes I just, came in like instead of 4 o'clock, and then I came at 2 o'clock, and then just help him, look at him, help him fry a little bit here and there. Didn't really know how to bake donut.
Maybe dip some donuts.
Right. That's all.
Right. So in that time period, do you remember, what do you remember from that time period? I think you mentioned just like learning a bunch from the customers. At that point, your English is probably pretty fair.
Okay.
Yeah. You remember any specific customers?
Oh, I mean, the people that like donut in the morning and coffee, they come in every day. And I remember very, very clear, I think, the guy named Bob Burton. And then he's a real estate guy, and he just next door to the donut shop called Rose Donut in Diamond Bar. So he was working in a real estate, and then probably around, it depends, sometimes 7:30, 8 o'clock, he stopped by at the donut shop and then grab a cup of coffee and donut and then walk back to his office. He's a really nice gentleman. He's very honest, nice, and talk to me every morning. I said, oh, good morning. And then he eat, I believe it's old-fashioned, plain, every morning, and a cup of coffee. You don't have to ask. When you see him walk in the door, just go ahead and, because, most of the customers, see, when they come in, you call them by first name, and then what they want already,
right?
And then you serve them pretty fast. They like it. They really like it, and especially Bob Burton. So sometimes he stop in the afternoon too, at 11, 12 sometimes. So I had a chance, chit chat with him, because about the business, about the, just try to learn. He asking me, do we own that donut shop? We said, no, we lease it. We lease the business, so how much we pay, for the business and all of that. And then he kind of like, wow. So actually, I think the owner of the business is make more than you guys. You guys work like, baking and physically work, like over 10 hours. They'll make probably the same as the guy that owned the business. So we talked, and he helped me quite a bit about the business in America. If you want to open it, I think, you just have to follow the rule, the regulation, all of these things here. I said, God, that's a lot, because I didn't know any,
better. And Uncle probably didn't know much either,
No clue.
But they're, meeting this guy probably kind of opened your eyes to like, we're making decent money here, but we could make so much more.
Yeah, so I know exactly, if we own that donut shop, I think we can make double. If we make right now, let's say for example, at that time we make $5,000 and you pay the owner about $4, $5, $6,000.
Right.
That's $11,000, $12,000 a
50%.
month. That's a lot of money at
And
that time.
and
At
that was generally the pretty standard leasing structure.
Yes, at that time, that's why Donut Kings and his family make so much money. That include my auntie. My auntie's family at that time, they own quite a few donut shop already.
Okay, so this is probably like the second or third time that we've mentioned the word the Donut King. And so for everybody, I realize now, for everybody who has never actually heard of who the Donut King is, he was essentially the first guy, the very, very first Cambodian immigrant to come over and escape the Khmer Rouge and start this whole donut chain leasing process that really the majority of Cambodian Americans in California, at least, came to find as their means to an end when they immigrated into this brand new land without ever knowing, really having a grasp of the language, with no education and just a way to make money. And he was the first one to really start this kind of concept. There is a documentary on him out there called The Donut King that you can check out. And if you research him online, his name is Ted Ngoy, Ngoy, and you can read more about his history. But yes, Robert here is alluding to his family members who at the time were very established because they were already within the donut industry. Right, who they lease out to other people. You just take 50% of their profits, basically.
Yeah. So I think, but that's normal. I think people, that's still better. It's still better than work a cleaning company or janitor. I mean, about $5 an hour. So that's way, way better.
So how long did you stay with Uncle? What was your next step at this point? You're starting to get all this information about, this can be bigger. You're willing to work. You're willing to work hard. What was your goal and kind of what was your thinking at this point?
Yeah, work hard. I think nothing. No, this is nothing for me. When I spent about almost 3-4 times a week with Bob Burton. He kind of like me. Kind of like he want to help me. That whatever I want to learn, information. He willing to spend some time. And
how old was he at the time?
Probably around 30.
So just a little bit older than you?
Yeah, it's about maybe 10 years older than me.
Okay,
I believe.
Yeah.
So, and then I start one day. I'm just excited about this business. I keep thinking. I keep, when I have time, I just wrote the note. I said, hey, just play with the number. And so if this way, that way, the rent and all of that. So I'm sure that donut shop make good money as long as you're willing to really work at night. I don't think a lot of people want to work at the hour that donut shop operate.
Right.
It's hard to find baker. I think a lot of people don't want to start at 9 o'clock at night and finish at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning, and pay $6-7 an hour if you want to hire some people,
Right.
And
could be the reason why that all these refugees that came from Cambodia who had gone through so much already were really okay with falling into this kind of industry, because to them, nothing is as hard as what they had gone through.
That's right. Exactly. I saw Tech Langui, Donut King, and have a lot of refugees from Cambodia that came to the state, and then they train them and they find a shop for them to to operate. They lease the business to them. I think they make good money. They make great money. I don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry anything, because they're willing to work hard.
Right. So, as I mentioned before, what were your next steps? What were your goals?
my goal, find a donut shop.
Right.
Yeah. Even I don't know how to make donut yet, but I keep talking to Bob Burton. I said, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to find a donut shop. Can you help me? Well, good enough.
Even when you don't know how to bake.
Even I don't know how to bake. I'm just, because, in my life, or maybe I was so independent, I said, I can't do anything if I really want it bad enough. I can learn. I can learn. I can, even it's a hard, complicated, ingredient. I don't think it's hard for me. And, but the way I look at Uncle Bake, you don't have to start from scratch. It's all mixed. Add water. That's what I saw him. Just add water and mix it and drop it and cut it.
Right.
I don't think that's hard at all. So I told Bob Burton one day, I said, can you please help me to find a donut shop? He said, yeah, that's easy. It's not hard at all. And then he asking me back, are you ready for this hour, all this hard work? I said, oh, yeah, this is not hard work for me at all. And then he asked me, how about money? How much money do you have? Then it was a little bit shy for me. I said, Bob, I have probably $300-400. And he just looked at me. He said, huh? $400-500? He didn't say much, but he said, the donut shop told me, I don't know, how much, but it's not going to be a couple $1,000, but I will try to find out for you. So he was work hard at that time, and then he found one shop in Pomona. The guy owned a gas station and owned a donut shop. He owned the property.
So at the time, the majority of donut shop owners were American.
Yes. Windshield Donut, Yum Yum Donut, Foster Donut, most of them American.
American.
Yes.
It wasn't until the refugees came in and Ted kind of started picking them one by one and then leasing them to Cambodian people that Cambodians really kind of took over the space.
Exactly right. Yes. Mm-hmm. And then it's quite a few refugees came in to California. Yeah, and then good enough, he found this guy, and then it's in Pomona, which is not far from Diamond Bar. Mm-hmm. And that area there's a very rough. There is a drug dealer. It's shooting and robbery and killing. Arrow and Town. That's a street. It's just on that corner there. So he came back. He said, "Oh, hey, I found you a donut shop." I said, "Really?" I was so excited.